May the Spirit guide you in wisdom and grace, that by your service and ministry, justice and mercy may be seen in all the earth.
Buckingham Palace appears to have undergone a dramatic change behind the scenes, as evidenced by the current situation. The actions that Camilla has taken within the royal family were revealed by Princess Anne, who revealed some shocking details. The recent actions that Anne has taken speak volumes, despite the fact that she has not publicly expressed her concerns regarding Camilla. Additionally, it appears that Princess Kate is experiencing the same emotions as Anne. So, how did everything end up in this state? To what extent are Anne and Kate involved in this drama involving the royal family? The movies may give the impression that everything that happens behind those grand palace doors is everything from tea parties to fairy tales. On the contrary, it is a world of picture-perfect appearances, covert rivalries, and covert power struggles. While the royal family is under constant scrutiny from an unforgiving public, there are times when public duty and family loyalty come into conflict with one another. It would appear that Princess Anne is finding herself in a disagreement with Queen Consort Camilla, and she is not holding back. According to reports, Anne has made it abundantly clear that she does not subscribe to the notion that Camilla is qualified to assume the position of Queen of the British monarchy. In point of fact, Anne has strongly recommended that everyone refrain from referring to Camilla as Queen. It appears that this royal drama is not even close to being over. It would appear that Princess Anne's strong feelings towards Camilla date back a very long time, and they have their origins in a history that is quite complicated. It has been reported that Anne is of the opinion that Camilla's actions, which include her alleged affair with King Charles while Lady Diana was still alive, render her unfit to hold the official title of Queen. Is that, however, the complete account? Alternatively, is this merely another layer in the extensive history of scandals involving royals? Throughout the centuries, the British royal family has been involved in a significant amount of drama. Let us not forget this fact. Consider King George IV's secret marriage to Maria Fitzherbert, or King Henry VIII's desperate search for a male heir, which resulted in the English Reformation and his 6 marriages that are considered to be among the most notorious in history. Those in the royal family are not exactly new to scandal. Skeletons in the closet appear to be something of a family tradition for all intents and purposes. What is it about Anne's perspective on Camilla that makes it stand out? Taking a step back and taking a look at what life is really like for the British royals is something that we should do before delving further into that topic. There has always been a mixture of power plays, hidden secrets, and inner tension within the royal family, despite the fact that they have carefully crafted their public image. What continues to captivate people is the fact that they were able to maintain the appearance of unity despite the fact that the cracks were readily apparent. In point of fact, the current drama that is taking place within the royal family did not suddenly emerge out of nowhere. Throughout the years, the family that we see today has been molded by a series of scandals, betrayals, and rivalries. Now that we are witnessing the unfolding of a new chapter, it is attracting more attention than it ever has before. In this particular instance, the focus is on King Charles, Camilla, Princess Anne, Princess Kate, and pretty much the entire royal family. Attempts are being made to decipher the true nature of the activities that are taking place behind the palace walls by analyzing every glance, every interaction, and every public moment. Fasten your seatbelts, because this royal roller coaster is not going to slow down anytime soon. That the royal family is a constant source of gossip and intrigue is not something that should come as a surprise. It is like a never-ending drama that keeps the public hooked because of all the alliances, grudges, and quiet power struggles that are going on behind closed doors. And believe me when I say that the royal family is well aware of how people are captivated by their every action. Because of this, they have spent years honing their polished and picture-perfect appearance by perfecting it. Now, let's not fool ourselves, shall we? The events that take place within Buckingham Palace are not without their flaws. As soon as Camilla became the center of attention as Charles's queen consort, the real cracks in the image of the royal family became more apparent. Public opinion was not the only thing that was divided by her controversial role. Internal strife was caused within the family as a result of this. What about that feeling of resentment? That is precisely what we are going to be doing right now. When Harry and Meghan are added to the mix, the situation becomes even more complicated. Their departure from royal duties and their interviews in which they did not hold back any information have only served to stoke the public's obsession with them. Each time they present their side of the story, the royal family's carefully crafted image suffers another blow. Despite this, the family is able to maintain their appearances, albeit with a high degree of difficulty. The royal family has a history of experiencing conflict. To a large extent, it is a part of their standard practice. What is taking place right now is not your typical feud between royals or disagreement that takes place behind the scenes. This time, it seems to be much more substantial, profound, and explosive than before. This is not merely another chapter in the story of the royal family. The kind of drama that has the potential to alter everything is this one. Be on the lookout, because it is possible that the walls of the palace will not be able to conceal this one for much longer. It has been reported that Princess Anne has revealed a shocking revelation regarding Camilla, which is at the center of all of this royal drama. As far as Anne is concerned, Camilla is a significant danger to the monarchy's ability to maintain its stability. It has been determined that Camilla should be removed from the royal family entirely as a result of this revelation, which has caused shockwaves to travel throughout the palace. Although it is safe to say that Buckingham Palace is currently in full-blown crisis mode, it is difficult for even the most devoted royal watchers to keep up with everything that is going on because there are so many twists and turns. In spite of this, it is abundantly clear that a significant number of royals do not appear to fully accept or respect Camilla's role as Queen Surrogate. What's the surprise? Not really, especially when one considers the circumstances that led to her being in that position. The fact that Princess Anne and Princess Kate have found themselves in the middle of this feud is even more shocking than the fact that this feud has escalated to such a drastic degree. Since the beginning of time, both Anne and Kate have been regarded as members of the royal family who are steadfast and focused on their duties. On the other hand, Kate is known for her calm and uncontroversial presence, while Anne is frequently praised for her unwavering dedication to her royal duties. She avoids the public eye quite frequently, with the exception of when she is attending a royal event or participating in one of her many charitable endeavors. I am curious as to how these two individuals came to be involved in such a significant upheaval regarding Camilla's future in the palace. That is the question that is worth £1 million. Kate's involvement adds a surprising twist, especially considering that she is typically regarded as the family's peacekeeper. While Anne's outspoken nature and strong opinions are not a secret, Kate's involvement adds a surprising twist. Regardless of the roles that they play, there is one thing that is certain. This is not your typical royal drama. There is a lot riding on this, and the consequences could completely transform the monarchy as we know it. Prepare yourself, because this is the point at which things kick up a notch. A delicate balance has always been maintained by the British royal family between the observance of centuries-old customs and the requirements of a contemporary world. In the monarchy, tradition serves as the pillar of support. The unbroken connection to centuries of royal heritage, duty, service, family unity, and privacy are the most important aspects of royal heritage. These traditions and customs are not merely for show. Rather, they serve as the glue that establishes a connection between the royals of today and their legendary ancestors. They are a representation of legitimacy and reliability. Now, try to picture what ends up happening when these traditions are questioned or, even worse, ignored. Doesn't that sound chaotic? This is precisely what appears to be taking place in Buckingham Palace to this very moment. As the delicate equilibrium between modernity and tradition continues to teeter on the brink of collapse, it appears that things have finally reached a breaking point. In the not-too-distant past, there was, for instance, an event that caused shockwaves to be transmitted throughout the royal circle. Think about this. The appearance that Kate did not bow to Camilla during an official gathering was a deliberate decision on her part. The royal family did, in fact, resort to a frenzy of whispers, side glances, and awkward tension in response to a seemingly insignificant act or lack thereof. To those who were well-versed in palace protocol, something that one might consider to be inconsequential was anything but. At least, that is how it was perceived by those who witnessed it. This was not merely a minor breach of etiquette, rather, it was a bold statement. When it comes to this bow or the lack thereof, why was it such a big deal? These gestures are more than just an act of politeness in royal circles. Rather, they are a public acknowledgement of rank, respect, and hierarchy. The fact that Kate did not bow was interpreted as a violation of tradition and possibly a message that she was trying to convey. A ripple effect was sent through the palace as a result of this, which hinted at deeper tensions within the family. Not only did the event bring to light the deterioration of adherence to time-honored traditions, but it also brought to light the widening gap that exists between personal feelings and traditional conventions. Additionally, this is only the beginning. Currently, the monarchy is experiencing a storm that is being driven by the conflict between the old and the new, as well as loyalty and resentment. Wait just a moment if you've been thinking that things are difficult before. Only the tip of the iceberg has been revealed here. Tradition is the starting point for everything. The act of bowing or curtsying is not merely a polite gesture in royal circles. Rather, it is a symbol of respect, duty, and most importantly, hierarchy. The purpose of this is to visually verify who is in charge of which position in the royal hierarchy. By this line of reasoning, Camilla, in her capacity as queen consort, is superior to Princess Kate. This implies that it was expected of Kate to bow when she first met Camilla and again when they parted ways. On the other hand, that was not the case. Kate did not make a formal bow to Camilla when they first met. Rather, she simply gave her a slight nod. When viewed from the outside, it might appear to be a minor and almost unremarkable moment. However, in the realm of the British monarchy, where every action is replete with significance, this was a significant failure to adhere to the established protocol. In addition, here's the thing. This wasn't a mistake made by a novice. Kate, who is both the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Cambridge, is well versed in the customs and rituals of the royal family. Over the course of her life, she has been exposed to the rules, whether they were discussed at public events or during private gatherings with her family. She has a good understanding of what is anticipated of her at this point. Therefore, it was not a matter of ignorance on her part to skip this significant gesture. Rather, it was a choice that she made on purpose. Despite the fact that it was almost imperceptible, this one action conveyed a significant message. It gave the impression to the family as well as the general public that Kate does not fully acknowledge or approve of Camilla's position as queen consort. The move that Kate made was nothing short of courageous in the world of royal appearances, which is a world that is tightly managed and where every nod, bow, and glance is scrutinized. To many people, this action was a form of silent defiance, a way of establishing a boundary without uttering a single word. On the other hand, in the palace, where conventional wisdom serves as the foundation for everything, it was regarded as a threat to the hierarchy itself. It is unclear whether Kate's gesture was intentional or not. However, it did reveal cracks in the unity that the royal family worked so hard to project. Do you see those cracks? There is a growing difficulty in ignoring them. In the event that Lady Diana had been appointed queen consort rather than Camilla, it is difficult not to ponder the potential alterations that could have occurred. Diana was adored by the general public as well as by many members of the royal family, and it is likely that her presence would have contributed to a stronger sense of unity within the royal family. There is a possibility that Buckingham Palace would experience a significantly lower level of tension if she were to become queen. It is possible that even the dynamics between the princes could have been more harmonious. There is a possibility that Prince Harry would not have resigned from his royal duties, which would have prevented the ongoing disagreements that he currently has with Prince William. The fact that Princess Kate was considering this hypothetical situation could provide an explanation for why she behaved in the manner that she did towards Camilla. Nevertheless, let us not overlook the fact that Kate is playing a significant part in this. When Prince William becomes king, she will already be thought of as a symbol of duty and grace because she will be the queen consort in the future. In other words, her actions establish a standard for those who will succeed her in the line of succession who will come after her. For this reason, it is absolutely necessary for her to put her personal feelings to the side when it comes to royal responsibilities. Regardless of whether or not Kate personally approves of Camilla's role, a significant portion of her responsibilities include upholding tradition and ensuring that there is complete harmony within the royal family. An error, even something as insignificant as missing a bow, has the potential to send shockwaves through the family and to the general public. To tell you the truth, there is always the possibility that this was not about making a statement at all. Be honest with yourself. Perhaps Kate simply made the decision to not bow, fully aware of the implications of her actions. Regardless of whether it was a deliberate action or a decision made on the spur of the moment, the potential outcomes cannot be ignored. In a household where every action is magnified, even the most insignificant of gestures carry a great deal of significance. Regardless of the motivations that led her to make this decision, it is abundantly clear that this particular moment has only served to exacerbate the ongoing tension that exists within the palace. It is common knowledge that the monarchy has been going through a substantial transformation, particularly while King Charles has been in charge of the institution. What is the purpose? The goal is to bring the institution into the modern era while maintaining the fundamental principles that characterize the British monarchy. Togetherness, duty, service, and tradition are all important. To achieve this delicate equilibrium, it is necessary to reassess long-standing practices, with some of them being reformed or even abandoned in order to accommodate the requirements of the 21st century. The act of bowing is one of the traditions that could be put on the cutting block. Despite the fact that it is still significant, there are those who question whether or not its significance will diminish as the monarchy adjusts to a more modern mode of operation. One interpretation of this shift is that Kate's decision to not bow to Camilla is a reflection of this shift. Both inside and outside of the palace, it sparked a fascinating debate, regardless of whether or not it was actually intentional. A number of people in the general public experienced this moment as if it were a welcome change of pace. It is significant to observe one of the royal family members deviating from the established norms of protocol in this day and age, when it is expected of them to conform to contemporary values. It demonstrates individuality and demonstrates that not every royal is a puppet blindly following rules that have been in place for centuries. In a world that is frequently dominated by polished perfection, these observers recognize that Kate's subtle rebellion makes her more relatable and human. These are qualities that they admire very much. However, it is not entirely a matter of applause and approval. A significant number of people continue to have a profound respect for the customs and institutions that define the monarchy. When it comes to them, bowing and other gestures aren't just about being formal. As symbols of respect, hierarchy, and continuity, they are important. Observing the possibility that these rituals will be abandoned can give the impression of a loss of the very essence of what distinguishes the royal family from other families. The challenge that the monarchy faces in its evolution is highlighted by the fact that there is a divide in opinion. What are some ways that they can continue to be relevant in the modern world without sacrificing the traditions that have kept them alive for centuries? The time that Kate spent with Camilla is merely a relatively insignificant part of a much larger puzzle, but it does an excellent job of capturing the conflict that exists between the old and the new. Courtesy is not simply a gesture of respect for the status of a single person. It is about upholding royal tradition that dates back hundreds of years. These gestures are not optional for many people. Rather, they are essential to the preservation of the monarchy's distinctive identity. Each and every member of the royal family, regardless of their position or level of influence, is regarded as being superior to these deeply ingrained customs. When it comes to adhering to protocol, royals are expected to set an even higher standard as their roles become more prominent. In fact, this expectation is expected to have increased. On the other hand, the ongoing conflict that exists between Princess Kate and Queen Consort Camilla gives the impression that this is not merely a matter of proper protocol. It is a glimpse into the possible changes that may occur within the monarchy itself in the years to come. Subtle shifts are already taking place within the organization as the younger generation continues to rise through the ranks. In large part, the rate at which these alterations take effect will be determined by the degree to which they are well received by both the royal family and the general public. Despite everything that has transpired, Princess Anne has made it abundantly clear how she feels about Camilla, reportedly expressing a strong disapproval of the Queen Consort. Her discontent became apparent after she made a statement that was not only revealing, but also stirred up the public. This statement not only drew the attention of King Charles, but also stirred up the public. The outcome appears to have gone further than Anne had anticipated, despite the fact that Anne's intention may have been to encourage the monarch to rein Camilla in. There was some speculation about Camilla's departure from the royal family, which led to discussions about the departure. Therefore, what exactly was it that caused Princess Anne to feel dissatisfied? The question is, what actions did Camilla take that resulted in such severe repercussions? The solutions are entangled in a complex web of royal drama that appears to become more complicated with each new turn. It is becoming increasingly apparent that this is not merely a passing argument as we uncover more of the details. This is a significant turning point in the ongoing development of the monarchy. Continue to keep an eye on the story, as it is only going to become more intriguing next. When it comes to the manner in which things are conducted at Buckingham Palace, it is abundantly clear that Camilla and Princess Anne are not the strongest of friends. A closer look reveals that the relationship between them appears to be quite tense as a result of her no-nonsense demeanor and unyielding dedication to her royal responsibilities. Princess Anne frequently finds it challenging to cultivate close relationships within the family. In spite of the fact that her unwavering commitment and unwavering commitment to principles have earned her respect, she is somewhat of a solitary figure within the royal circle. When it comes to the protection of the monarchy, Anne is not the type of person to shy away from conflict, despite the fact that she has earned a great deal of respect for her unwavering commitment to duty. As a result of this, she has adopted a particularly staunch stance regarding anything that she considers to be a danger to the stability of the royal family. In her opinion, the Queen Consort Camilla has been the one who posed the threat. It was a confrontation between Anne and Camilla that took place during the coronation dinner that proved to be the real turning point. Within the royal family, Camilla's influence had significantly diminished, as was made clear by the heated exchange that took place between the two. It became increasingly apparent that the cracks in the royal family were widening, particularly as King Charles ascended to the throne. Although we do not know the full extent of the tension that led up to that moment, it became increasingly clear that the separations were widening. During that time period, Anne was in the process of getting ready to accept her position as one of the more senior members of the family. However, she was not keeping her worries to herself. In point of fact, this confrontation served only to highlight the growing divide between her and Camilla, a divide that appears to have been building for some time, despite Anne's typical restraint when it comes to expressing her opinions. Even though the aftermath of this conflict is still being worked out, it is abundantly clear that the family's internal conflicts are not even close to being resolved. This raises the question, why exactly did Princess Anne confront Camilla? An incompatibility of values is the root cause of the problem. Regarding the ideals that the monarchy ought to stand for, the two women have very different perspectives. Tradition has always been something that Princess Anne has been a staunch supporter of. Whenever she has the impression that royal values are being violated, she does not hesitate to voice her opinion. As Anne was growing up during the reign of her mother, Queen Elizabeth, she was profoundly impacted by her mother's unwavering dedication to upholding these long-established values throughout her 7-decade reign. Camilla's history of controversy is only a small part of the problem that Anne has with her, but it is not the only thing that matters to her. In addition to this, it is about how Camilla's path to becoming queen consort reflects a more contemporary and, in Anne's opinion, more laid-back approach to royal duties. Anne is of the opinion that this more casual attitude casts a shadow over the image of the monarchy, which has been constructed over the course of several centuries. It is said that Anne expressed her concerns to Camilla directly during the dinner that was held to celebrate the coronation. She expressed how the elevated role of the queen consort could potentially send the wrong message to the general public. Not only Camilla's history, but also the manner in which she carried out her responsibilities was a source of contention for Anne. Anne was concerned that Camilla's contemporary and occasionally relaxed attitude towards her position had the potential to undermine the long-standing customs and principles that the monarchy had upheld. In Anne's eyes, this was not merely a matter of personal concern. Rather, it was about protecting the very basis upon which the royal family was built. However, the tension that was present in the air was anything but festive, despite the fact that the coronation itself was supposed to be a moment of great celebration and unity. In spite of the fact that the ceremony was supposed to be a happier occasion, it only seemed to bring to light the profound discord that had been quietly simmering for a considerable amount of time. It became abundantly clear that Princess Anne's disapproval of Camilla was not merely a conflict between tradition and modernity, as was the case with Princess Kate. For me, this was a much more personal matter. For Anne, this was not just about upholding royal tradition. Rather, it was about the influence that Camilla's relationship with King Charles had on the dynamics of their family. Anne has been paying close attention to the development of their marriage, and she is of the opinion that now that Queen Elizabeth is no longer alive and Charles is the king, it is her duty to safeguard the fundamental principles that characterize the monarchy and to uphold the standards that were established by her mother, who passed away. She has no intention of allowing anyone, and Camilla in particular, to undermine that, even if it means taking a position of opposition to the newly appointed queen consort. In addition to paying close attention to the preservation of traditions, Anne is also keeping a very close eye on Camilla's increasing influence over Charles. It is now abundantly clear, as a result of her recent revelations, how much influence Camilla has over the king, and Anne is resolute in her determination to make certain that Charles's decisions are shaped by the requirements of the monarchy rather than by his own self-interest. Anne is adamant that the interests of the monarchy should take precedence over all other considerations, and that nothing, not even the influence of the queen consort, should put that interest in jeopardy. At Buckingham Palace, the situation has reached a breaking point, with Princess Anne firmly opposing Camilla's role as queen consort. This has caused the situation to reach a breaking point. The rift that already existed within the family has been further exacerbated by Anne's refusal to acknowledge Camilla as queen and her outspoken support for the maintenance of royal traditions. Anne has been portrayed by the media as the person who protects the integrity of the royal family, while Camilla has been portrayed as a disruptive force. Camilla's recent withdrawal from public duties, which is allegedly due to a chest infection, has sparked speculation that it could be a strategic move to distance herself from the fallout that has resulted from her confrontation with Anne. In the event that the monarchy makes the decision to eliminate or lessen Camilla's influence, it would be interpreted as an effort to maintain the principles that Princess Anne considers to be be fundamental to the royal family. One's perspective on the role that the monarchy plays in contemporary times will determine whether or not this would be the appropriate choice, in spite of the fact that it would almost certainly be controversial. Camilla's decision to step back would be interpreted as a demonstration of her dedication to tradition and her desire to preserve the legacy of the royal family.